your life, please make sure to hit that like button as it will greatly help push us through the algorithm and the analytics, and it will help us expand this community. I think it's very important to expand the reach of our community. We're going to go over a wide variety of things today. We'll get through some of the midday market report. We got a lot to talk about with XRP as it did have a big dump down. Um, it was down close to 54 cents. It's reversed back up now to about 55 cents. Or 50, yeah, about 55. But we'll take a look at XRP. We'll see exactly what's going on. Um, I think I did a good job this morning. I came on at 6:30 this morning. I talked about XRP and how it had broken down the bull flag, and it came back up, but it never was able to push back in, and it actually faced a rejection. And how now we had a chance to come down to near that 54 cent mark, and closer to 534 is where the projection is. So we'll see exactly what XRP is going to finish off doing here. And we'll go through the technical analysis as well. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Derek, welcome in. David, Sean, Tower, good afternoon. Anthony, welcome in. Good morning, my friend. UK Phil, good afternoon. Mark, Joshua, Christo, welcome in. From Nambia, welcome. Nambia. I apologize. Let's see. Jorge, welcome in. Taki, good afternoon. Yeah, stay positive. Always got to stay positive. That's why we're here. Even in the downturns, even when there's the never-ending consolidation, you still got to be here. But let me timestamp this very quickly. Good early afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, January 18th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I'm doing good. Everybody's asking. I'm doing great. I want to get through and fly through this midday market report part of this because I want to get the XRP and I want to have a nice little look at it. But I want to see how we got to where we're going. Dow Jones under 37,274. We know we were extremely overextended. Now, if we get a rejection there at 37,274, we should come down, which we've already got a rejection. But I would like to see us come down to around 30. Let me get rid of this. I'd like to see us come down to 36,400 area, something like this, somewhere in here is where I'd like to see it come down. That wouldn't break the pattern. It would start to put in what looks like a head formation. And then if it comes down, you could have a busted head formation if it came down and we find ourselves below here and we start teetering towards that 32,000 or 33,906. That could make it interesting. But as it is right here, this is a nice corrective wave. If it holds this, I have no doubt in my mind the next target, and it's a little off right here, should be right around 40,000. That's perfect. That's exactly where it should be. Right at 40,000 should be the next target if we can bounce off 36,254 approximately. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. We were way overextended in the weekly coming into last week. Corrected it a little bit coming into this week, but we're still overextended. But we had gotten pretty far up there. Maybe not way up there, but it was starting to get up there to where it needed a correction. And now it looks like we're starting a correction, but does it go much farther? Is it going to come all the way down there, or does it bounce off of this 37,274 and just pull back up? That's what we're waiting to see because the 4-hourly starting to get a little low now. 3-hourly, so it doesn't need to correct all the way down there. And that's what I've been trying to say the last couple of days. This could be a fake out, and then it just pulls up anyhow to 40,000. Like if that happens, this would probably be the end of this move. If it comes down to 36,251, I mean, there's no telling how high the Dow can go. But the next target would be almost 42K. It would more than likely go up to. It would have another 2,000 point push on top of where we think it's heading right now, because you'd have that added consolidation, and it looks like that's what's happening right now. DXY is up 17 cents or 0.17% to 103.54. Starting to get close to what we've been talking about. At some point, we're going to top. But like we said yesterday, maybe it comes up to like 103.92 area. But you can see in the 3-hourly, it's catching back up. 2-hourly, it's gone back basically towards the top. But the problem is there's a bull flag here, and I think it's still set up for one more move up near 104. That's just, I can't get over it. I think it's going to have one more little spike up here, and I think it'll come to fruition probably today or tomorrow. I think this was a fake head and shoulders. And I think it's going to actually come up to the top of this cup and handle. I think it's, when you look at things sometimes, I think it's just done too much work here. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's done too much work. I don't think it's just going to stop before it gets up here now. I mean, you could even talk 104 spot 10 maybe. But I think it's working that pattern. So why would it stop now? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it could, but I just think it's going to continue to go up just a little bit more. We've got the U.S. 10-year at 4.14%. It goes and it locks up with the U.S. Dollar currency index right now, as we've said. 0.75% up, $4 or 4.14%. And this is another one that's getting overextended, but I think it still has this tiny bit move left up to like 4.2%, and then all bets are off. I think we're going to overextend ourselves here as well. And then even if it still stays bullish, because we talked about this inverted head and shoulders, which it looks like it could be creating. So we'll see. Goes. So we'll see exactly what happens here. So that's what we're looking there. But even if it comes to 4.2, you'd expect a retracement, even if it continues on back to like 4.09. U.S. crude is up 1.56%, up $1.13 per ounce. That's priced in U.S. dollars. WTI crude up at $73.80 per barrel. We talked yesterday how it looked like it needed to come up. It was just, there was too much pressure to the downside. It needed to pull up here. Excuse me. Looks like it should come up. If it wants to come way up and retest this structure, come up to 79 bucks. It's got it's got everything in its favor right now to come up there. So I'm just going to watch this. I'm not going to make a prediction because I don't like to make predictions, but I just see it coming up in the next few days. And I'd be watching that area I just talked about. Gold's up 13 bucks, which we'll get into gold and PAXG because we had a phenomenal buying opportunity yesterday, which I was trying to, I did my little thing, told everybody I was in a leverage trade. I wasn't in crypto because it was too volatile to the downside, but I found PAXG. Again, it was at a good spot. And at 19.95, I told everybody on a 10x trade. I didn't get it at 19.95. My average went anywhere from 2007 when I first started buying it all the way to 19.95 on this drop down. But I was on the air at 19.95 and I said this is a prime, and it went down to 19.90, I believe. But it was just a moment in time. So I could see a reversal had to happen in gold. It doesn't mean it has to be an extreme reversal. But at the very least, we had to retest the broken structure, even if it was bearish. And that's what we were trying to say the last few days. But volume is starting to come in here a little bit. We've got plenty of room in the 4-hourly as far as relative strength. We crossed over into a bullish territory. We've got volume increasing, which is that's good. And we need to get over 2025 approximately. So it leads us to have a move there. So then we'll see from there. There's no reason to expand on it. If it gets back within here, we've got plenty of room to make a reverse rally up to 2100. If we get rejected, it'll be interesting because 1930 is the next major target. So we'll see. PAXG's at 2014, up 10 bucks or 0.5%. When I came on yesterday, it was on this wick, ironically. It was on this wick down. It actually came a little bit farther than that. It says 1995, but I know it came down to like 1990, it said. Man, they just continuously move these wicks up and down. I know you have to watch it every day and be as neurotic as I am, but it's something when you start seeing that. Now it's like 1993. I swear yesterday it was at 1990 on the wick. Maybe I'm just thinking, no, I know it was back there, but anyhow. So this has plenty of room to come up still. I would anticipate the pushback up here to retest 2043 is likely what we're looking at. That's what we played. It could come back down, but that's what we played. It looks like an inverted hammer candle starting. And I think for the second time in a row with PAXG, we've nailed it, the buy-in. So last time we made about 200 bucks on it. Well, depends what you put into it. But this time I anticipate to make a little bit more than that if it does what I think. And then if it breaks the structure, we'll see. But I think we're in a very opportune moment here with gold, precious metals, commodities. B2 gold even got into a nice little pull down. Came right down to the bottom of the wedge. I mean, we showed this yesterday, what it could do. And now if it pulls through this is where it could get very interesting. But I think it's down. This is the ideal spot right now. Where it's at in the 3-hourly, the 2-hourly. We're getting into ideal buying opportunity here for B2 Gold, especially if gold's ready to rotate. This is actually becoming a very interesting time to buy B2 Gold. I'm in B2 Gold. It's like $2.97 is my average now. I bought a little bit more at $2.95. So I'm rolling with about 1,300 shares right now. So you can do the math of how much I spent. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. It's at the bottom of the formation right now. So unless it has eyes to go lower, this should be the spot where we anticipate a reversal. And even if it's bearish, we should come up a nice way. So we'll keep an eye on that for the few days. And then after this, we'll go to... am I reading this right? Fortuna had the dump off? It went to where we talked about. That's our... Remember our buy zone? Boy, what does that mean for this? Interesting. I wonder if it just caught up. Fortuna just caught up with B2 Gold. Remember what we were waiting for the buy on Fortuna? That's very interesting what Fortuna just did. That is an extreme oversold now. Remember when I said I wasn't... Wow. Came right to that uptrend. That is insane. That is interesting as all hell. What caused that drop? I mean, I know it had to come down there, but what caused it to do it there? Because silver's up almost up 1% today. What's going on with Fortuna? Something had to have happened. Fucking flying spaghetti monster comes up. Toronto stocks higher. Fortuna Silver Mines down on higher cost. Mexican mine forecast. Fortuna Silver Mine shares down on higher cost seen in 24. Earlier end of life of Mexico mine. Ooh. That's interesting. So their Mexican mine didn't go. The mine in Mexico didn't go good, it looks like. If this is all the downside bears can pack, then the bull market may have room. Fortuna Silver. So that's what happened, the Mexican mine. So anyhow, that's something to pay attention to on Fortuna Silver Mines. A buying opportunity could have emerged. Obviously, we have to see what's going on in that mine. But that is either an opportunity started or a very big bear flag that has just emerged. I would imagine this has to reverse. The relative strength here is going to be hammered. Although I was calling for the retracement to there. That's a pretty scary one. But it is going to be extremely into the oversold now in the shorter time frames. There's no way to even sugarcoat that. So we'll keep an eye on Fortuna Silver Mines, but please pay attention to this. Please pay attention to this. This is definitely something to pay attention to and observe, because that could be a big pull down for a massive rally back up. Hey, True, what's going on, my friend? Welcome in. Yeah, I was just looking at Fortuna Silver Mines. It's down 11% today. So it's come back down to our targeted buy zone. XRP is at 0.55210, down 2.81% today. And if you guys appreciate my work, please make sure to hit that like button, as we have 69 people in here, 75 people, 51 likes. Please hit that like button, as it will help push this through the analytics. And if you appreciate my work, join Tom's Army. I would love to see more people in Tom's Army. I think there's only 1 or 2 people in here right now in Tom's Army. I'd appreciate it greatly. Or you can pay it forward by sending a donation, a YouTube super chat. Haven't got a lot of those recently. But, you know, each day is a new day, and I'm trying to expand this great community one way or the other. So, at the very least, please hit that like button and share this on social media. It helps so much. Zenda, thank you so much. Zenda's in Tom's Army. So is JW, the 1 year badge. Zenda's, what is that, 6-7 months, the XRP predictor. Maybe 5. I can't remember which one exactly. Let's see. XRP, though, that 534 level is where I was looking at the targeted move. We've said it doesn't have to come all the way down there, because we don't know if it's going to have enough steam to get down there. But that's the technical target. It could bounce off of here and not break what could be... Man, this is so close. Because in the 3 hourly, you can see we're heading into big oversold areas. 2 hourly, pretty oversold here. Hourly getting into extremely oversold. 45-minute into the, I mean, we're pretty oversold here now with XRP. At the very least, even if we're bearish, you would expect us to come back up and retest that 564 area. At the very least, even if we continue down, you've got about another 3%. I almost expect it to come up here about 2.22%, ironically, to that resistance if we're going to come farther down. Angela, welcome in. Love seeing it. The I told you so badge. I love it. That's the 1 year badge. So with XRP, that's exactly it. What I just said, that's exactly what we should be watching. It's that resistance area back up, or does it continue back down all the way to this 534? Just the way it looks in the smaller time frames, it behooves us not to have a retracement back up. Not everything goes straight in a row, and this is becoming pretty oversold here from the 30-minute. Even the 15 is probably starting to reverse a little bit, but it's pretty oversold, and I can see a W forming in here. I don't know if anybody else can, but I think it became pretty clear in the 15. If this pulls up, you've got a nice W formation here. So does he get rejected, or does it start to bounce? See, that's what you have to worry about now. It doesn't necessarily have to come all the way here. This could have been the overextension back up, then it uses support, or it's going to go boom, boom, down to the technical target. Just because it's a technical target doesn't mean it's going to come down there. That's just where theoretically, that's where it seems like it would be figured out to go. But how often do we just see an overextension on a broken structure and then it just bounces back through? So I would just be waiting for the retest. If it gets rejected, you know it's coming here. If it gets back on top and shows support, you know it's going up. So that's where we're at in the pattern. So right now, is it bullish or bearish? It looks pretty bearish, but you're going to get a short-term bullish spike here. Even if just for a bearish rejection, it's still a short-term bullish spike. So it's going to be difficult to short trade this right now. A lot of people just buy it short here and they're like, oh, 534 it is. Going short. Fuck it. Don't care about anything else. Market cap's down 849 million, or 2.75% to 29.966 billion. Fell below key structure. There's nothing you can do about it once it falls through there. The technical target's around 28.79 billion. Looks like a bear flag is forming, but we're so oversold that we know we're going to get a retest up here, likely at 30.8 billion. So it's like right now it's in a very interesting time when this is consolidation now. Does it continue down for the bounce up? Or what it looks like with the RSI is it wants to bounce up here, and then do we get a rejection, or do we come back to support and bounce up? That's where we're at right now. There's not much more I can say about that. And then last but not least, Bitcoin is, I think, well, maybe not last but not least, but I think it's been a good start so far here. We went through the midday market report. We can see what XRP is doing. It's becoming a very interesting proposition here with XRP. Especially, I would love to see it just, as overextended as it is, I would love to see it just finish dumping down, like I said, the 534. But at some point, you could see Bitcoin here. Is this an inverted head and shoulders? I'm only asking because we have to pay, our due diligence here. 45's oversold. Big time in the RSI. Hourly oversold. 2 hour oversold. And it's going to be worse when this 2 hour candle closes. 3 hourly, head into oversold. 4 hourly, about to be an oversold. Got about an hour and 11 minutes left until that happens, when it catches up on the relative strength index. This is still on a bull flag, or, as we've seen before, it turned into what looked like a wedge formation, and it makes perfect sense why we came back down, especially once you've seen the wedge. But we were so overextended here, too. Look at the weekly. You think the Dow was bad in some of this stuff. This is where we were at on the weekly time frame. We were extremely overextended. That's why when it came up to 47,000 and then even came up to 48, I called for the drop down near 40,600. I even marked it on my chart. We put a little note on it, on the other one, because it lined up perfectly with this area of support. So we put the note here. And we said, well, I don't know what we said. Bitcoin target drop to ease relative strength index 40,600. That's when we were at 48,000 near. when we were getting rejected, or rejected at that 47,000, and we had the little run up. But that was so it was a call for it to come down some 7,000, and it pretty much has. And there's still room to come down, but it's just the shorter time frames are going to catch up. It would be in the best interest for Bitcoin to finish this technical move down here. It would be in the best interest. And then it's a lot of people will be like, well, what the pattern? It's the pattern. Yeah, so it looks like it broke it down back to support, but it hasn't, because this is the pattern. It gave it away to us when we had a quick wick up before the ultimate push. Resistance, support, support, back to support, resistance, resistance to support. Then after that, you would have a violent move back up. So if you want to come to 49,000, come back down to the bottom of the wedge and then bounce up to the top. Now, you could get rejected here, so you have to pay attention to this part of the formation. Especially if it's bearish, you'd get rejected on a return rally around 42,500. Then that would allow the pressure to come through. But that would be a boom, boom, boom. Otherwise, this looks like it's going to do something like that. I mean, it really does. Boom, boom, overextended wick. And depending on where it pulls up, it doesn't even matter. But once it does, right now it's almost like a triple bottom. So we got to watch this very carefully. We got to watch to see exactly what Bitcoin has in store for us. Looks like it's still bearish, but eventually you're going to have a violent reversal. I mean, look how far we're getting. We're starting to end up in that area where it's like, okay, there's nowhere to go but up. Before there was nowhere to go but down. Now it's the complete opposite. It really is. We can sugarcoat this thing all day long, but there's no point. I'm personally just excited about the PAX-G route, because when things are going down, there's always ways to try to find a moment. And with what the DXY seems like it wants to do after this, probably a momentary push up, as we've said, because that looks like a small bull flag. Once this is done, we're going to be so overwhelmed that we're going to have no choice but to start unwinding here to the downside. This can only last for so long. Remember what Bitcoin did? It looked great, but it just kept overextending itself. That's what's happening here. The only thing that's not overextended here is in the weekly sense, which after this weekly candle closes tomorrow, it'll start shaping up back towards the top side. But even the daily still got a little bit of room. 4 hourly. It's got a little room because it cleared out yesterday. A little bit of room in the 3 hourly. A little bit of room in the 2 hourly. Still got room in the 1 hourly. So you see how it seems to be setting up for that one big spike. That's what it seems like. So we'll see. We'll see. It's very interesting, because once it reverses back down, it's going to be a healthy correction. But I think it set up a small bull flag here. And I would not be surprised if we end up around 104.20. So I just continue to say that, because if it does, maybe that's how we get that last move down. Because it doesn't look like crypto's done. I mean, it seems like it could be just because of the relative strength. But if you look at it grand scale, it looks like it's still got some room to come down. So that's what I got, everybody. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Hopefully this midday market report helped. Hopefully you understand what's going on with XRP. Now would be the time to ask me a question. Other than that, if you're looking to trade XRP with your favorite crypto, video description below. The exchanges that I use to futures trade and spot trade, so I don't have to deal with the ridiculous fees. To put it in perspective, a $1,900 futures trade, I had a $7 fee. So that just puts it in perspective, and that was on MEXC. And then other than that, we just got to pay attention to this. I'll see everybody later. Make sure you watch the short that I put out. It's just a 60-second XRP technical analysis. But I had fun. I think we did a good job. I think we covered what we needed to, and now it's time to say